Hello students, once again in continuity of the same chapter, the rest portion will be dealt in this video part 2. So what we have seen, the writer had very beautifully described about a very weird personality and how the scenario or the ambience went into topsy-turvy condition because of the presence of this giant, enormous, peculiar personality, how his father used to act in front of this man, how the other people got charmed by this very despicable man. Okay. All the time he lived with us, the captain made no change whatever in his dress but to buy some stocking from a hawker. Why he used to buy stocking from a hawker? Because he was a continuous stroller, clear, and the stockings used to get soiled, clear. That's why apart from anything of his garment, means he was a constant in the choice of his garment. The only thing which he used to buy or used to change is stocking. I remember the appearance of his coat when he patched himself upstairs in his room, and which before the end was nothing but patches. He never wrote or received a letter, as if never spoke with any but the neighbors, and with these for the most part only when drunk on rum. The great sea chest none of has ever been opened. So the box he was having, clear, that small boy had never seen him opening the box. The coat he was wearing, which was having all patches in order to hide the worn out condition of the coat, clear. So altogether he was a very lonely man. He used to talk with the local people when he used to get intoxicated, clear. Otherwise he was a very lonely kind of a man. He was only once crossed. Dr. Livesey came late one afternoon to see my father, took a bit of a dinner from my mother and went into a parlor to wait for his horse. I followed him, and I remember observing the contrast, the neat, bright doctor with his powder as white as snow, with his bright black eyes and a pleasant manner, made with that filthy, heavy, blurred scarecrow of a pirate of ours, sitting far gone in rum, okay, with his arms on the table. Suddenly the captain that began to pipe with the eternal song, okay. So what we find, okay. That one day Dr. Livesey, we have already got an introduction of this person clear in the very beginning. So when Dr. Livesey came in order to treat his father, and the horse yet not arrived, so he went inside a parlor where the single man who was sitting inside the parlor was that old sea dog, right? Clear, and the small boy was able to mark the sharp contrast. Dr. Livesey on the one hand was a very nice looking gentleman, and this man on the other hand is a very rough, was looking like a scarecrow, having a very filthy gesture, filthy vibes, clear. So that a small boy was able to understand the immediate contrast, okay, and began to pipe up and he was drunk, he was thoroughly intoxicated, clear, and he started singing his eternal song. What is the meaning of eternal song? He was in a habit of singing the same song. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and the bottle of a rum, drink, and the devil had done for the rest, yo ho ho, a bottle of a rum. But by this time we had all long ceased to pay any particular notice to the song. This was a new to nobody but Dr. Livesey, and on him I observed it did not produce an agreeable effect, for he looked for a moment quite angrily before he went on with his talk to a old tailor, the gardener. The captain gradually brightened up his own musing, and at last slapped his hand upon the table before him in a way he all knew to mean silence. So he was singing, and it was nothing new for that small boy. Rather, the people, those who were in the habit of visiting this place, they were in a habit, they are quite acquainted with this song of this man, except Dr. Livesey. But when he started singing, it can't be considered as singing, rather roaring. It failed to affect Dr. Livesey. He remained chit-chatting with the other people, the gardener and all. Clear, that infuriated, that fumed this man. He went up straight to him and he shouted. Why he shouted? Because he was not able to accept the fact that while I am singing, why this man was talking. Okay. The voice stopped at once. All but Dr. Livesey went on as before, speaking clear and kind. The captain glared at him for a while, flapped his hand again, glared still harder, and at last broke his silence there between decks. So, though he shouted, but Dr. Livesey failed to understand the signal. So, he ultimately stated, "Shut, everyone should be shut their mouth." Okay. Where are you addressing me, sir? See the way he is talking to him. He is addressing that rough-looking person with a very, very decent way. Clear? Says the doctor, when the ruffian means a rogue. Okay. Ruffian, a person who is very shabbily dressed, who fails to have a sophistication, he fails to have a proper mannerism, who fails to have a proper behavior, they are known as ruffian or a rogue. Uncultured person. Okay. I told him that he was so. I have only one thing to say you, sir, replied the doctor, that if you keep on drinking the rum, the world will soon be quiet for a dirty scoundrel. So what he say? He demanded that you should stop talking. He should stop talking, but Dr. Livesey, because he is a doctor by profession, he said that you are too much in a habit of drinking. So if you remain with your rickety lifestyle, if you remain with your rickety lifestyle, what will happen? It is not that I will stop talking, your life will be shut for you, and that's going to be forever. And he uses a very derogatory adjective, scoundrel, because initially he addressed him as a sir, but his nature was still too uncultured. So Dr. Livesey also shunned all, or rather just spared all his good nature, and he also just treaded with the same coin. The old fellow's fury means anger. Okay. Was awful, means very bad. He sprang to his feet, drew and opened a sailor's clasp knife, and threatened to pin the doctor on the wall. So he was not in a habit of listening to this, and this infuriated. First, he was not in a habit of listening no to from anyone. Secondly, he was thoroughly drunk. So he just shed away even a bit of a decency whatsoever he must be having in his character, and he just threatened this man to Dr. Livesey to kill. Okay. The doctor never so much as moved. He spoke to him as before in the same tone of voice, perfectly calm and steady. If you do not put the knife this instant in your pocket, I promise upon my honor you shall hang at the next assizes. But this failed. The very vehement nature, or this extremely despicable nature, or this impulsive nature of this man failed to move or affect Dr. Livesey. He was as usual very calm, very composed, and he stated that if you fail to put down your knife immediately, I am going to drag you to the court. Then followed a battle of looks between them, but the captain stood knuckled under, but up his weapon, he resumed his seat, grubbing like a bitten dog. Clear? So by seeing the stern nature of Dr. Livesey, this man got intimidated. This man got afraid, because he hadn't received a character. He failed to encounter a character like Dr. Livesey. So what he ultimately he was smart enough to understand the situation and he retreated, he surrendered. And now sir, continued the doctor, since I now know there is such a fellow in my district, you may count I will have an eye upon you day and night. I am a doctor only, I am a magistrate, and if I catch a breath of a complaint against you, I will have you hunted down and rooted out of this. Soon after doctor, so what he said that initially till this encounter, till this behavior, till this discord, I was not too much aware of this kind of personality present in my parish. Now I am just not a simple doctor, I do have a magisterial designation, so I will be watching you like a hawk. If I see any kind of abnormality, I am just going to catch you and put you behind the bars, so always check on your behavior. Okay. Soon after Dr. Livesey's horse came to the door, he rode away, but the captain held his peace that evening and for many evenings to come. So the very stern nature of Dr. Livesey was sufficient enough to mellow down the very arrogant, very furiated, impulsive nature of the person whose name is not yet known. Clear? Rather, he has been nicknamed as Old Sea Dog. Clear? So after this incident, writers stated that I have never seen the earlier personality of this person in concern. He became quite sober and gentle, and he created no chaos inside their Admiral Benbow Inn. Hope you people have understood this chapter, and with this I finish it off.